Welcome back to Drew and Derek Suck at Gambling. I'm Drew.
I'm Derek.
Ryan's not here.
He's not? I'm in his chair, I guess.
Yes.
I didn't notice.
Clue number one.
He's taking the Anthony Richardson loss really hard.
Yeah, he also is on the IR. We had a hopefully we get a week 9 comeback.
Struggle with my mic here. Good. Okay. Yeah. Hopefully we get a week 9 comeback, but we'll see. He might be on the IR. Hold on. What is going on here? Is this locked in? I think we're good. Okay.
All right. Hopefully we get Ryan back one day. I don't know.
He might just.
I know what everyone's going to say. I didn't kick him off the show because of how Cowboys and Niners went.
You didn't not kick him off the show, though. We can't confirm.
I tried to, be as cool as possible. But ultimately, he needs to sit in timeout.
Who knew that his downfall would actually be the Eagles-Jets game? I think that really got him riled up. I'm going to deflect as much as possible. That wasn't me that was arguing with you that the Eagles were going to kill the Jets. There's no way. That was all right. He kind of did. I told him he was being selfish last week. He's in selfish timeout this week. That's what it is.
And you know what's funny is I ordered this jersey before that game. I actually ordered this jersey during the Broncos game, which
That was a fitting game to order it for, though.
I ordered that game, or ordered the jersey, and we had a buddy who was like, dude, it's the Broncos. Like, come on. Don't order a jersey off, one run against the Broncos. And now, maybe they let him score a touchdown to have a little, which also is kind of dumb. I don't know why you'd want to go down 6.
The whole last 2 minutes of that game was some of the dumbest football I've seen. First of all, you're the Eagles. You're winning. It's been a close game. You're lucky. At that point, it's like you lost a turnover battle. I think they lost it 4-0. It's like, all right, we got the ball with 2 minutes left. We got Jalen Hurts. Let's just run the fucking rock. Nope. Interception. And then, I don't know. If you're the Jets, why do you score right away? Just take a couple knees, kick a field goal. I don't know. Did the Eagles have timeouts? I know the Jets didn't.
Eagles had 2.
Okay. So I guess they could have stopped the clock. But you still could have brought it down to 30 seconds. I don't know. It was dumb football all the way around, but Eagles deserve to lose that game for sure.
And Jets deserve to win. That's how I felt.
Motherfucker. This dude. Have you told the people about your bet?
I talked about
future?
it. I talked about it a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. But I have a big boys bet on definitely more than I put on any game in the last ever. I don't put on a single bet.
This is Conor McGregor territory, right?
Yeah, no, yeah. We put $2 on Conor McGregor.
$2 whole dollars.
$2 whole dollars on Conor McGregor. And now I put $2 whole dollars on the Jets to win over 5.5 games. And I did that going into the Broncos week. And I got a good number. And the line's moved up to 6.5.
It was 5.5, right?
Yeah, and they only need 3 now. 3 wins.
And they got some winnable games on the schedule.
And
we looked at.
None of those winnable games included the Eagles.
Certainly not.
When I was talking about the bet, that was not what I was thinking.
No.
So, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good about that.
You've had a couple legacy games. The Cowboys let you down, but Brees, he brought you back up. So
right.
You're back to even keel now.
And it felt good. That game, I did kind of say.
You did kind of call it. And your double unit play did hit. Brees Hall was the double unit lock, right?
Right,
Correct?
yes.
Okay.
And I had the Browns covering.
You did have the Browns covering.
I didn't have money line. I did have a parlay where I did Browns money line, Jets money line, and
who was the third team that fucked it up?
Other teams also effed it up, but Brees Hall didn't get his yards. I threw that in there. I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And then Seahawks money line, and that lost on the last.
Did you watch that game?
Yeah, I did.
That was the most frustrating game because I needed DK to get a touchdown, and they were looking at him the whole time, but dude, Geno took a hit or got sacked I think 35 times in that game. I don't know. Every time I looked, that's not a real number, but every time I looked up, he was just getting sacked. He had no time to process anything. I was getting pissed.
I was ticked off.
I was really mad.
That Sunday, I mean, I didn't have any crazy bets that really lasted. I think you and I were both hoping for a last second. Obviously didn't make the pot. Malik Cunningham, we were hoping on.
Oh, yeah.
That was I was hoping going to save my day, kind of.
Yeah.
Not I was losing a bunch, but I was like, I'd rather have
A little fun bet on
it was like plus 700.
Old Nebraska boy, right? Or where did Lee Cunningham go?
No, Louisville.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
He was Louisville guy, but it was good.
The game was good for me too. That was great. Raiders are back in the thick of the playoff race. I love Josh McDaniels, dude. Coach of the Year candidate. I love him.
Yeah, what are they? And I don't know. Good week for some, bad weeks for others. Hopefully Jimmy G rests up soon, but
hopefully he rests up all year.
Yeah, he needs to make sure he's 100%.
You really need to make sure for next year when we trade you, you need to make sure you're 100% for your next team. That would be great.
Brian Hoyer and Alexandria Costo-Cortez. Aiden O'Connell. AOC. At quarterback at the helm this week. Maybe. I don't know.
Both. They're actually going to take snaps together. We're going to do like a Saints thing where we got Taysom Hill. Who's Taysom Hill? I don't know.
Probably Brian Hoyer.
Maybe. They're both pretty not athletic dudes.
And also, isn't Brian Hoyer like, he's
36?
Yeah, he's up there.
He's been in the league for like 16 years.
Yeah, he's not in terms of like life. My mom gets on me when I talk about athletes. Like,
he's old as fuck. He's like 2 years older than us.
I think I called a hockey player old the other day, and I was like, oh, fuck, I'm the same age as him actually. And I was like, well, he's not old. I thought he was older than.
When I realized I'm old, I was playing Madden, and it was always a good feeling when you're 16 years old. You're like, oh yeah, my player's 22, just graduated college. When I have to lie about my creative player's age, and if I'm about my real age, you're like, so you're retired? Like
Brandon Whedon?
You just got drafted at 31? Are you serious?
Madden used to have that one draft storyline every year or randomly where it's like 36-year-old quarterback,
12th year senior makes it out of the league.
It was like, he stopped playing baseball and he went and decided to play football. He's 36, and then it'd be like, he's an 85 overall, but he was going to retire in 2 years. You want to draft him? So
investors, possibly you.
And then that Dallas Cowboys game was not the game we deserved. It was a good game. It was a game McCarthy would love. Just no offense.
Yeah.
And it was like, I'm going to make Kellen Moore sit through what I want.
Exactly. You're gonna watch this.
17 to 14 or 20 to 7.
2017.
2017.
Yeah.
The way the Lord intended. That was.
That's Mike McCarthy football for you.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that game was so gross. What was Sunday night was gross too. Bills Giants.
Oh yeah. Which I feel like everyone kind of overlooked the whole and myself included. We didn't even talk about
the Brian Dabble thing.
Also Bills coming back from London.
Yeah, true. And we're gonna talk about that this week. I know for the Jags, but yeah, it's kind of a big deal. And also, how come it's not just default that your bye week is the week after London?
So they get to opt in now. So since
team's
last
choice.
year, they let the coaches, I think, have a say, and the coaches are saying
So what's the logic there? It builds character.
Yeah, I mean, I guess not. I don't think any team is elected for the bye week.
So are they all just playing a game of chicken or something? Like, who's gonna be the first bitch who takes a bye after London? Huh?
It's I guess
that's just foolish.
I think
you should say goodbye.
I wonder if the Chiefs and the
Dolphins, right?
Chiefs Dolphins. I wonder who because it's also an early bye week. That's probably why.
I'll guarantee you this: no matter what the Chiefs bye week is, they will play the Raiders the following week because that happens every year, and they beat us by 50 points. Let's look it up. Chiefs schedule.
Off no bye.
Where's bye week? This is great podcasting here. Bye. Yeah, it is. Bye is after London. Yep.
Week 10. They play. So there's no more London games. They play in.
Oh, in Germany. Sorry.
Yeah, Chiefs Dolphins. Talk about blitzkrieg. It's going to be some quick offense out there. Should have saved that one for that week. But
God damn it.
Then I mean. A lot of games coming in this week, you have to think about the trade deadline. It's coming up and it's on Halloween.
Spooky.
Yeah, very spooky. I'm going to get this out on the podcast now because I've been talking about it for a couple weeks. Derrick Henry's going to go to the Rams. I don't know.
Rams.
I texted you.
You did actually. I had to act surprised for the people.
Yeah, the Rams. What?
What? I've never heard this before.
But yeah, I have especially, I mean, that was before the injuries to the running backs and stuff like that. But I could totally see Derrick Henry. They need a big back.
They do.
I mean, both those guys, Kyron and Ronnie Rivers, which is an amazing name. They're both 5'9", both 5'9" Kings. Great running backs.
I think Derrick Henry's right quad, if you measured it out sideways, is 5'9".
Yeah.
So yeah,
and so they need a big back. I could see Sean McVay being like, "This is exactly what I've been waiting for."
Like, run the goddamn rock, do play action, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua. Let's go.
Yeah.
Rams football.
They need a big back. I could just see that.
Can we ignore at the beginning of the year when I said the Rams might have the worst record in the NFL? I didn't say that. That was me.
I think I said they were going to be bad too. And
I said if Stafford and Kupp don't play all year, which at the time it was not that far-fetched, but now it looks like, yeah, you're eating crow if you
that's
you said
true.
that. Yeah.
I definitely said that. I wasn't quick to buy into the hype. I also thought Stafford was going to be completely washed. I don't think they'll make a deep run. They just blew out the Cardinals. They weren't
Powerhouse.
Powerhouse Cardinals. Which, by the way, Kyler Murray on the way back. Ooh.
21-day window.
Yeah, can't wait for that game.
That's gonna be fun.
I will have I might have to get a new Kyler Murray jersey just for
New
that
one.
one.
How many do you have? Just one?
Just one.
It's
But
about to be two.
I gotta get the new white away jerseys.
Yeah,
those
new white ones.
are kind of
pretty clean.
yeah. Even though I'll never get to see him wear it unless I take a flight somewhere. But like just in general, I don't know. But yeah. Any other interesting trade? Like,
I'm sure there's. I mean, the Broncos' whole roster. Like, are they? I think they would be dumb to trade Surtain. Like, that's really their only good piece that they should move forward with, in my opinion. But I know there's been rumors of that, and obviously there's just been talks that they want to gut that roster, and they're already doing it with Randy Gregory and Frank Clark. So they're kind of setting that up a little bit. Who other just shitty? I mean, Panthers did call that one. I'm just gonna say, beginning of the year, I did say Panthers could be worst team. It was like 20-1. Didn't bet it though.
I really, I definitely kind of have to eat crow on that because I was like, yeah, guys, they I think have a shot.
Be good.
I think I said they had a shot at the division.
Well, that division is and was terrible, so yeah, it's not that far-fetched. But
man, we're getting to reminisce about some really bad takes that we've had so far.
This isn't
year.
good. Yeah, we should probably be talking ourselves up, but I mean, it's called Sucks at Gambling for a reason. So
yeah,
Brian Burns will be a huge trade candidate though. If the Panthers did decide to get rid of Brian Burns, he's one of the best edge rushers
and
in
he's
the league.
not locked in on an extension.
He's
right?
due though, so
Right.
that's the thing. If you're trading for him, you're probably gonna have to pay him right now. Let me see, Brian. Burns
So that makes sense that they would trade him this year.
Yeah,
because they couldn't get the extension done. With him last year. I know there was that rumor that the Rams offered like 2 first-round picks. I don't know how true that is, but yeah, definitely going to be some interesting things. We'll have to do a little bit more of a deep dive into that next week.
Yeah, and trade deadline.
Because I think that's a big key to all these games is like now you have to think some of these guys are playing like
they're auditioning for a new team.
They're
now,
either
basically.
auditioning for a new team or if the team loses, that means it's time to sell off. Like,
right.
And not always like a bunch of guys, but it's going to be a few guys.
Right.
We'll also have a little interesting tidbit on the NBA season coming up a little bit before the next episode. We'll have a little.
We're a little well-rounded this week, aren't we?
Yeah, a little bit more. Hey, can't pin us down. Where are we going?
Got a lacrosse futures on the way too.
Yeah.
It's coming.
I can't wait for the badminton episode.
Oh my god, that's gonna be a lost episode. You're gonna have to pay for that one. That's after dark
on Patreon. That's gonna be when we get some Academy Award bets in. I was pretty surgical.
This man, absolute surgeon. Everything, everywhere, all at once. Lock it up. That was great. Lock of the year.
I got that.
You got it like plus 650, and then it went to like minus 200.
And then Michelle Yeoh, I think Best Actress.
Like I'll pull up my DraftKings slip because I tailed you that night. You told me to do it. It hit.
That was. Guys,
bag
look for value under. There's no.
So look for a December episode. We're gonna do Academy Award specials here.
Yeah, we're gonna be.
It's actually just gonna be Drew talking because I don't.
Honestly, I haven't watched enough movies as I need to. I need to go like watch like past lives like that.
You gotta be
seems
a
like the
cinephile for the
kind
next
of.
3 months, man.
I know.
Get in the film room, NFL, and just film room. We don't watch movies.
Yeah, I got to be like an iPad kid. Got to have them next to each other. But should we get into the NFL slate?
Let's get in the slate.
So starting us off, we got the Detroit Lions going against the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens coming off kind of a gauntlet of a schedule. Back-to-back-to-back road games. one of those being their last one in London. So they beat the Titans. But yeah, they're probably a long-awaited homecoming after their 4 of their last 5 games were on the road.
That's crazy.
I know. But I mean, almost half your season, like now the rest of the season, like half your road games are kind of out of the way.
And they're first in the division right now too, so they
do have like 3 road games, like, or 3 home games in a row, like at some point, like, but yeah, interesting little tidbit. Could be wrong, but I don't know. Terrell Suggs Ring of Honor game.
Is it?
Yeah, I guess when you don't have any home games, like you got to really pack it in. So yeah, Terrell Suggs, Arizona.
Shout out Hamilton High School, baby.
Shout out one time.
Shout out one time for T Sizzle. Let's go.
Yeah. Our alma mater.
No, he's listening for sure.
Yeah. I've been emailing him links for months.
I swear I mentioned you in a podcast episode.
But yeah, like all these teams are not taking bye weeks. Ravens are also not taking one.
Right.
And some of these teams have struggled. So the Jags, they just came off 2 weeks in London, and they handled the Colts pretty easily.
Right.
And I think that it's interesting because so on paper, both these defenses, they have like really good like numbers like EPA and stuff like that. But like if you think about the quarterbacks the Lions have faced, he goes Geno, other than Patrick Mahomes, Geno Smith, Desmond Ridder, Jordan Love, Bryce Young, Baker Mayfield.
Not great.
So their defense has been good, but their defense has been good against some like we might really be talking about Baker Mayfield being the best quarterback of that bunch. Geno Smith maybe like in the conversation. The Ravens went against week 1 CJ Stroud, so rookie debut.
Okay.
Injured Joe Burrow, Gardner Minshew, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, Kenny Pickett, and Ryan Tannehill.
So it's like the ultimate mid-off of QBs they're going through here.
Yeah, so this is going to be like a real test, I feel like, for these defenses because these are both by far the best quarterbacks they've gone.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And unfortunately, it's not saying much to say. But Goff has been really good. He has not turned the ball over this year. Yeah. He's been really solid.
3rd best passer rating in the NFL. 5th most passing yards.
Yeah, I think
Drew is the new owner of him in our Dynasty Fantasy League. Is this why you're talking up Jared Goff right now, making me feel worse about myself?
You got Jacoby Myers.
Myers.
But yeah, I mean, should be a really interesting game. I feel like I was like coming into it thinking like, oh, could this be like a really like low scoring game? Total set at 42.5. I didn't even go through the line. Ravens are favored -3 and 42.5 is the total. 42.5 is a little low.
Yeah.
I'm
let's go to weather.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
What does it mean with the weather?
What does it mean? Let me guess. Rainy? Let's see. Oh, 59 and clear.
Over. Already. It's going to be, I just feel like this Lions offense doesn't really matter. Like Amon-Ra St. Brown, obviously amazing, but when he was out, they have like Laporta, they have Khalif Raymond. I know that they are banged up with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. They're both kind of questionable.
They're both questionable.
I think they were saying Jahmyr Gibbs is trending towards playing. I don't imagine David Montgomery's going to play, but I've been wrong about this before.
It seems like he's not going to play. He didn't practice Wednesday. He's questionable. It just seems like he's at least going to take a week off, maybe two. Gibbs is on track to play. It seems like that's where it's trending. They keep getting beat up every week, and they keep winning. It's pretty impressive. Like the Lions have out of all the teams in the NFL, like where expectations were, I think we both were in agreement they were going to win that division, but they've done it in great ways. Like they've looked good. Like DVOA, they are the second best team overall. And I know we kind of went through the gauntlet or lack thereof of the quarterbacks they face, but I mean, they're great against the run too. They're the best team in the NFL against the run. In the last 16 games, Dan Campbell, 13-3, 7-1 on the road. They're 5-1 for the first time since 2011. And this is Detroit fans rejoice. And this is the first time they've had a share of the best record in the NFL since 1993, week 11. And that was their last division title. So I like the Lions this year, dude. I really
Yeah.
do. Like they're kind of like the team I'm rooting for in the NFC. I think. I mean, besides the Saints, of course, but they're on timeout right now. I'm a little mad with them. But Ravens also great. Their defense has stepped up a lot. They are tied for first in the NFL with 24 sacks, 6 in quarterback hits. I mean, they're bottling up receivers too. Last week, D-Hop had 1 catch for 20 yards, and I was like, he got hurt, right? Nope, he didn't get hurt, and he also ruined like a $300 parlay for me. So salute, D-Hop, love you. Arizona, shout out. And also like Amon-Ra, he's been playing a little banged up. I think he's like more healthy in this game, but Marlon Humphrey like travels a little bit at the corner, so I'm a little concerned with that matchup. What's Amon-Ra's yards set up? I would guess close to 70s. Not even out yet.
Yeah.
Okay. I would guess it's probably going to be like 71 and a half, something like that. So that would be an interesting one to watch. Not a whole lot I like here in terms of like props, except for the Lions. The one kind of the kink in the armor here is the Lions are continue to not be great against tight ends, or allowing the 4th most yards. So good matchup for Mark Andrews, who's an okay tight end in the NFL. He has been averaging 58.8 yards per game. So, and his line is set at 53.5 right now. So could be a nice little low over there for Mark Andrews.
They're baiting you.
They're baiting me. That's bait.
They're baiting you.
All right, let's hear why.
Oh, personally,
Just because. Trust me, bro.
Mark Andrews.
He has a vendetta against Mark Andrews. Go ahead.
I have a bet against Mark Andrews. So yeah, Isaiah Likely gonna have a hell of a game.
The ultimate zag.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, Mark Andrews, he's been getting yards and stuff like that. Yeah, there's no other real wide receiver outside of Zay Flowers who can kind of look competent, which 56 and a half is kind of a low line.
53 and a half, even lower. For Zay?
For
oh,
Zay.
my bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not 53
How
and a
dare
half.
I think you're going after Mark Andrews?
Way too high for Mark Andrews. Try 28 and a half.
For Isaiah Likely?
No, but 56 and a half for Zay Flowers. Kind of like, I mean, that secondary's been banged up. This is kind of a different test, but like, I think, not saying that they're necessarily the same level of player, but Goff is kind of like Joe Burrow, like this, like very smart, like doesn't really make many mistakes. You can't really force him. Like the only team that really forced him to make mistakes was the Seahawks, and it was like a key pick 6. And otherwise they would be 6-0 probably right now. And so I think that this is kind of a spot where like it's going to be an interesting test. This is going to be a really fun one to see like how it goes.
This might be the most excited I am. Like this and Miami Philly are probably my 2 most excited games this week. I think it's going to be a really fun game.
Yeah, I think 252 and a half, kind of a low line for Goff. I kind of want to roll the dice. Maybe he has the 300 yards. That defense is really good. Like the Ravens defense has been really good. It's not just against their level of competition.
Second in DVOA.
But
Lions third in DVOA defense.
But man,
Battle of the Titans.
Give me Jared Goff's over. I think the Lions keep rolling, get a 5th in a row. I'm going to take the Lions. Especially, I think the rest kind of works against the Ravens. Maybe that's why this total's a little bit lower. But yeah, give me +3. Why not?
I'm totally on board. I agree. I love the points. I'm going to money line too with the Lions here, but give me +3 for sure with the Lions. Love them in this matchup. All right. Next up on the slate, those mighty hot Las Vegas Raiders, 3-3, taking on the Bears, 1-5. Raiders are 3-point favorites on the road in Chicago. Total is a disgusting 37.5 points. Raiders -155 on the money line. Bears +130. We are going to have the ultimate quarterback battle in this one. Either Brian Hoyer or AOC. We don't know. TBD. It kind of sounds like it's going to be AOC from what I'm seeing, which I would be stoked about. Yeah. Versus the GOAT. Everyone's heard of him. Household name, Tyson Baguette. So want a quick little rundown for who he is. Undrafted rookie out of Shepherd University, which is in West Virginia. I didn't have to tell you that. I'm sure you knew that. Gatorade Player of the Year in West Virginia. He actually broke the record for touchdown passes across all NCAA divisions, 159 touchdown passes. Very impressive. Even more impressive, his dad, 19-time arm wrestling champion of the world.
Wait, really?
There you go. I'll say it again. 19 times. This man has won the arm wrestling championship. Did not help Tyson Baguette on his first play. Justin Fields, did you watch his first play?
No.
I was watching Red Zone. They're like, oh, bad news. Justin Fields. All right. Here comes rookie Tyson Baguette. And I was like, I Googled his name wrong. Like, I didn't even hear what they said right. They're like, all right, here he is. He stud out of Shepherd Junior High. Goes back to pass. Sacked, scoop, 6, touchdown, Jordan Hicks, Vikings.
Oh, actually, I did see that.
So he ended up, his stat line, he was 10 of 14, 83 yards, interception, 56.5 passer rating. I mean, he's an undrafted rookie that got thrown in a game. What are you expecting out of this man at that point?
Do you go on these, like, the Dynasty subreddits at all?
No, not really.
Dude, there's one post where it was like,
oh, no.
Tyson Baguette. He's the guy. Like, it was like, could he be the sleeper of all time? It was like,
of all time,
dude. It was the most like, it was just like, you have no fab. You had to claim someone, and you're like,
now you're talking yourself into Tyson Baguette.
I talked myself into Eric Gray earlier this year.
That's fair. We all have our guys.
Yeah, we all. And yeah, I think it's interesting. He was D2 quarterback. Breaking the across.
But he broke the record across all NCAA divisions.
I guess it would have been more impressive if it was in D3. Just obviously, I'm taking DJ Moore props here.
You have to.
He was targeted by far the most by Mr. Baguette, and like, I think he was targeted like 5-6 times or something.
I'll tell you, I got pulled up.
Yeah, he was.
You know why I'm mad at him though? I love DJ Moore, but he was on pick 5 last week, and he felt like 5 yards short of his total.
Really?
Yeah, he did.
Damn.
8 targets last week.
8 targets, and I feel like 5 or 6 of those were when Tyson was on the field. So
here's his targets week after week. Week 1, 2 targets. 7, 6, 9, 10, 8. He's the man. Love him.
And Cole Kmet fell short last week, so I don't know if I really trust him.
So we both, our pick 5 for the Bears both got ruined last week. Shout out Bears.
Yeah, I think it's, even though, I mean, Kmet might be a good bet here because rookies do kind of lean on tight ends.
And also, like, the Raiders tight end historically. Actually, this year Raiders aren't that bad against tight ends. They're, like, literally middle of the pack. They're 16th. But, like, me growing up, I just have PTSD. Like, take every tight end over when you're playing against the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we definitely picked this game because this is a
selfish choice.
It's a little guilty pleasure of ours.
Yeah.
There's like
we love bad football.
Yes, this is gonna be awesome. Plus, we have a buddy who's a Bears fan. Who I just wanted to make sure we
would be remiss if we didn't.
We had to talk about Raiders Bears.
Had to.
For him.
We don't get this opportunity every year. So
no, and I think it's interesting, kind of how close the line is given everything. I know.
Yeah.
I know with the fluctuation at quarterback and whatnot, but man, like, I kind of like the over 37.5. I think it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun because it's like, all right,
it's a low line.
You have 2 quarterbacks who there's not much tape.
Yeah.
Like, there's not much out there.
There's a lot on Brian Hoyer, kind of, over the years, 16
well,
years.
yeah, no.
We got AOC playing.
But I'm assuming that I read
I think it's AOC.
I read something that
sure
said that they think like AOC's going to start.
What it is.
And I wonder if that's just like you have Hoyer in the backup role when like Jimmy G goes down mid-game.
It's 100% what it is.
And so
if you give him a week to prepare, then it's AOC. But if it's like spur of the moment, Brian Hoyer.
Yeah, you want to throw him. You don't want to do that to your rookie necessarily.
Right.
But McDaniels at least has some confidence with that. But
that's about it.
that's where it stops.
That's where it stops.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. This might be like a coaching, not really coaching for your job, really, if you're McDaniels, but hey, if you lose to the Bears,
you might be coaching for your job here for the rest of the season. I don't know.
I'm not touching the spread.
Oh, I am.
I can understand why you would, but I kind of like the over. I think it's these two.
It's a low line.
A low line. There's like, it's not like the best offensive weapons. Well, I mean, Fields is a great offensive weapon at times. But when it comes to passing the ball,
Yeah.
Jimmy G was not like, oh no, the glue to the offense just came undone.
The actual complete opposite. He went out, and I think it was first drive. I could be wrong here. They're like, and that's the longest pass of the Raiders season by Brian Hoyer at 34 yards. Like, oh, great. This is our offense is really wide open now. Thanks, Jimmy.
Jimmy G has like fog of war. Like it's just like there's just like a 15-yard wall of fog.
He cannot look past that at all. He's like,
it's from his time with the 49ers. It's like he's spinning up these offensive.
It's the opposite of fuck it, Devontae down there somewhere. It's like fuck it. Josh Jacobs is right here in front of me.
Fuck it, check down.
Yeah, boom.
So I'm gonna take the over in this one.
Love that. Raiders broke 20 points for the first time last week. Hold on. I just got to talk about the historical Raiders cover last week. Raiders were 2.5-point favorites. We're up 2 against the Patriots. We haven't scored 20 points all year. We're at 19 points. Last play, Max Crosby, sack, get over 20, cover the 2.5. Let's go. Legendary cover for the Raiders.
that was awesome. This is the last time you guys face off against the Bears since that game we went to, right?
Oh, John Gruden's last game.
Yeah, we went to Vegas and saw John Gruden's last game and paid our respects.
Justin Fields' first touchdown.
That was a hell of a game. For some, I was dressed in Bears stuff for that game, but I remember being like, "Man, I love Derek Carr." I kept saying that to Derek. I was like, "Man,
that's the only thing to get me from crying."
But so you're going with Bears +3?
Absolutely not. Raiders -3. I got to give Max Crosby some love here. Just give me a second. Let me get on my pedestal for Max Crosby.
Absolutely.
This man needs to be in defensive play. I know everyone's listening to me. League offices, everyone's listening to me right now. Defensive player of the year consideration for Max Crosby. This he's a menace. He accounts for 59% of the total Raiders defensive pressures. Highest rate in the NFL. Next closest, Myles Garrett at 40%. Oh, just 40. If he got ejected at the end of the first quarter in every game, he would still be tied for the team lead in pressures on the Raiders. Not saying much. We kind of suck outside of Max Crosby. He's got over half a sack or more in 4 straight games. And he's just a fucking man. Watch this man. He's the Commodore. He doesn't quit on plays. All effort. Real lunch pail guy. Real gritty guy. It's all the traits for white guys. They're gritty white guys. But
Gym rat.
Gym rat. First one in, last one out. But I just love that man. So I will be betting Max Crosby sack. If I could bet strip sack, that's happening in this one. And the Raiders defense, if only they could give Derek Carr this defense. I mean, Derek Carr just notoriously had like the worst defenses, but they're actually pretty good. Last 2 games, 4 interceptions, allowing a 53.8 quarterback rating. I mean, pretty deep. Like they're the 26 fewest yards to receiver, middle of the pack against tight ends, ranked 26 against quarterbacks. Like it is weird. I'm usually seeing top 5 numbers all across the board here. So the first couple of weeks I said the numbers don't lie, they're not passing the eye test. It kind of, the Raiders defense isn't that bad now.
If you give me Jordan Love and Mac Jones every week, defense,
buddy. Past years, those fellas are passing for 404. I'm just telling you.
Okay, true. I'll give you that.
Give me the little victories, okay?
I'll give you that. I was trying to think. I was like, who did they play the last 2 weeks? I was like, oh, Jordan Love, Mac Jones. All right. So moving on, we got the Falcons going against the Bucks. Bucks are -2.5 at home. 37 is the total. What is with these
37 totals?
Yeah, I've heard like there's this whole like thing like the under is like really like you'd be up like I think 7% over the last 3 years if you bet the under. Like that's like a big trend. So I wonder if they're just like overcorrecting, like yeah, bet the under now.
Right.
But divisional matchup, but not that early. Like, is it gonna be raining in Tampa Bay? Let's see. No.
80, partly cloudy.
Partly cloudy.
This is a battle for first place, though. Falcons 3-3, Bucks 3-2.
Oh wow.
Bucks at first place in the NFC South.
Yeah. Oh, so this is where, I was like doing some notes and came across this quote because I was like, is Desmond Ridder going to be benched for this game? Because like, you know, conventional thinking, conventional wisdom would say maybe you start to like
Maybe you
be
got
like
3 picks and
like
a game-sealing interception.
oh, who else do we have? Maybe time to give them a try. Well, former Falcons quarterback Dave Archer,
Excuse me?
he said anybody who thinks Desmond Ridder has regressed is an idiot. He's learning the game.
Well,
It's only 10 games. So I took a look at Dave Archer's career.
Yeah, okay.
18 touchdowns, 33 interceptions.
Lovely.
And if you last started a game when Salvador Dali was alive, I think football might have changed a little bit.
It might have passed you by, old man.
I was like, you know, I'm not trying. It'd be the most random person to have beef with, but like Desmond Ridder fucking sucks. Like he looked horrible. They had
awful.
every opportunity
They had
to
like
come back in that game.
Yeah.
And they just couldn't because of him. Like he single-handedly would throw the. It would be like, you know, he might as well underhand it into the end zone. And then like they played who they played last week.
The Commanders.
Commanders. It was like, yeah, thanks. Like right here, made it look like Ron Rivera was just like putting on a master class.
They the same way they have like the Taylor Swift cam games. They had the Arthur Smith disappointed dad cam. Like anytime this man does not hide his emotions at all. He's like, are you fucking kidding? Are you fucking dude, that's the throw. Like,
he looks like a Pixar dad, dude.
With the mustache.
He kind of looks like a Pixar dad.
He kind of,
and he's like always disappointed in anime, like
no matter what the play is.
And I don't blame him.
Bijan, come on.
I don't blame him. And also like little tangent. I watched Sunday Night Football and Brian Dabble was like pissed off
At Tyrod.
Tyrod.
Yeah.
And like it was like, you know, my mom's like, who would want to play for that guy? And I was like, have you actually watched the quarterback play? Like, I think this is relatively
He's actually taking it easy on
well-mannered.
Right now. Yeah.
This is well-mannered. But yeah, back to this game. Falcons have turned the ball over in their last 5 games. And the Bucs started this season with forcing a turnover in their first 4 games. Last game they did not. They went against the Lions. Obviously, we just talked about like they're a team that hasn't turned over the ball much. They've been pretty smart with it. So I feel like this could be a good opportunity for Bucs anytime. Bucs defense anytime touchdown. Definitely going to bet on interception here. What are the odds? What are the odds?
Have that up?
Yes. Plus money.
Plus money for Desmond Ridder?
Yes.
There's no way.
That might be a fucking.
That might be all 5 picks in the pick 5.
That might be another $2 bet. that might be another Jets big boy.
$2 bet.
I'll come in with a Ridder jersey next week.
He puts the pick in pick 5. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that is. Why are they? That's insane.
Do they know that? Do they know that they accidentally put?
But
a plus
maybe it's
sign?
a strip sack. I don't know. Like, but I do think that they're gonna.
You think a turnover happens?
Turnover
courtesy
happens for sure.
Desmond Ridder.
I think you can bet on turnovers in general, maybe. But
Is the thought has to be that Ridder might not pass the ball that much?
like they're gonna keep him like
Like
on a tighter
just make it a
leash.
Bijan game.
That's true. You know, I don't know because you would think that, but like they kind of have to.
The Bucs also they aren't great against quarterbacks or receivers. They allow the 7th most receiver yards, 188 per game, 9th most quarterback passing yards, 262 a game. So there's stats to be had here for young Ridder, but there's also picks to be had.
Yeah, and also this Falcons secondary has not been good this year.
No.
And I feel like very big. Mike Evans spot, and also it's going to sound like I'm a homer. Trey Palmer, he got targeted like 8 times against the Lions. And if Baker hadn't like overthrown him, he probably would have been like, oh my God, you got to check this guy. So I'm looking to see what his line is for receiving yards. No line out for Trey Palmer. I really, really like Trey Palmer in this game. Mike Evans, 57.5, kind of low. Could be a good spot for him. Chris Godwin, 60.5, a little high. That's how I'm feeling. That's how I'm feeling about this.
So Chris Godwin's going to be the only one that hits us over.
No. I got a feeling, and it looks like. I mean, Trey Palmer, dude, he's secured his spot as a third wide receiver. I think if you can get a line on him, it's probably relatively low, especially if these guys are getting like 60.5, 57.5. I don't know if they're expecting like 100-mile-per-hour winds because those are wildly low for.
I'm going to hit you with the Lee Corso. Not so fast. Falcons, 29th receiver yards. They're third best against receivers. Second best against quarterbacks. 191 yards per game to the quarterback.
I just feel like the second.
121 yards to the receiver. They're pretty good. But the same team that we're just complimenting right now for 10 seconds. Last week, to Sam Howell allowed 3 touchdowns and a quarterback rating of 119.7. So maybe take that with a grain of salt. Maybe we should look up the Falcons schedule of who they play at quarterback. And their defense is like before last week, they had 5 sacks total, which is awful. But last week they had 5 sacks alone. So they're at 10 total sacks, which even after a 5 sack performance in 1 week, they're 28th to 10 sacks on the year. So they're not getting any pressure. And also the Bucs are really good at allowing pressure. They have 5 sacks taken, which is the best in the NFL. They're protecting Baker and doing well. So
they kept that Tom Brady O-line.
We should have seen this coming with the Bucs. It's like, hey, what do you know? They kept the same team that basically went to a Super Bowl with. Then they're missing the best quarterback of all time, but they replaced him with the better quarterback of all time, Baker Mayfield.
Oh, man, I'm gonna regret that one. I'm gonna regret that take.
What
about Tampa Bay? Because I think I literally said it was gonna be because of Baker.
I think I'd be a liar if I said I thought they would be good. So
yeah,
here we are. Baker's just fun no matter what. Even if he's losing, he's fun to watch.
I love him now. Just fun guy.
Fun guy to root for.
He's like what Johnny Manziel could have been.
Right.
That's
fair.
Like a guy who's fun as hell when he's mic'd up. Even though like Johnny Manziel was never like that. I think that was just more like the whole hype. But yeah, he's a lot of fun. I really like the Bucs in this game. I think it's kind of wild that they're only 2.5-point favorites. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's a bait line here, but 2.5 and the over kind of seem like maybe because it's divisional, they play each other hard, but like, I feel like this might be the spot. Also, the Falcons, haven't they played some really bad offenses too? They played Jordan Love.
You just equate every
if you
bad
Jordan
offense
Love,
to Jordan Love or Mac Jones. That's it.
If you play Jordan Love, I definitely am hesitant to say that your defense is good.
Panthers, Bryce Young. Packers, Jordan Love. Lions, Jared Goff, a.k.a. Joe Burrow, according to Drew.
But they whooped them that game.
Lions killed them 26.
Yeah.
Jags, Trevor Lawrence, 23-7, Jags. And Texans, they did beat the Texans 21-19.
True.
Also, can I just say I called CJ Stroud pick last week?
You did.
Okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to say.
I said it wouldn't happen. I'm sorry. So, I'm going to go with the Bucs. Do you have any other props you like on this? Or?
This isn't a great prop game. I mean, the Bucs are allowing the 11th most receiving yards to the running back. So I kind of like Bijan. I think his receiving line is 25.5. And he's been more effective through the air. He is under 3.4 yards per carry in 3 of his last 4 games. So, and Tyler Algier is still getting I know Tyler Algier is good, but you drafted Bijan in the top 10. You just got to let this man work. And the red zone carries are infuriating. Basically, if Bijan gets a touchdown, it's been through the air this year. I think he has 2 touchdowns, and they're both receiving touchdowns this year. So he's got to get more involved in the run game. But Buccaneers are also pretty good against run. They're 24th fewest yards, 73.4. Falcons are not that great against the tight end, but I said that last week with the Bucs. Who did the Bucs play? The Lions, who also aren't good against tight end. So I said, look at Cade Otton. He's been disappointing. He had like 2 catches for or 1 catch for 15 yards last week or something.
I've quietly crept back.
Yeah,
from
I've noticed. I've noticed. I don't see that glimmer in your eye when I mentioned Kadon Stain.
That was when we talked about the dynasty guys. That was a guy last year that I was
he's your Tyson Badgett.
Yeah, he was my Tyson Badgett, where I was like, guys, I got this hidden gem, and he could figure it out. Tight ends take some time, but like he's right now not the guy. And also, there's just so many like weapons on that offense.
Right.
Like I think it's you're talking about Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and Trey Palmer, and Trey Palmer's getting like 8 targets. There's a lot of guys that feeding K. Dotton doesn't warrant enough to get that.
Right.
He might have some games here and there, but it will be when you least expect it. I'm less enthusiastic about him.
It's just I don't like to see it. I like when you like your guys.
I do like. I mean, I like Breece Hall.
That's true. And you can't take that away from me.
You can't take that away from me. There's guys I still like. Trey Palmer's the new guy.
That's true. Okay, we'll stick with Trey Palmer. He's the new Buccaneers guy that you have.
Yeah, Trey Palmer is definitely. I think this is going to be a game where if they figure it out, they can get him the ball. Mm-hmm. He's a big play guy. Like he's really fast. That was something that he did at Nebraska, where it would be like last year. I remember it was literally like a year ago. It was like we were playing some team, and it would be like, yeah, he had like 3 receptions and like 3 touchdowns. And they were all like 50, 60 yards. Like he was just a big play guy, fast as hell. I think that he'll fit right in as long as they, get him the ball. Baker, please don't overthrow him. Just like,
just be cool, man.
Let Desmond Ridder like underhand it to him, and he'll do the rest.
Desmond Ridder might be able to, or no. Wait, Desmond Ridder underhanded to him.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like if he had Desmond Ridder like
underhanded. Oh, got it. You got it. He might be able to underhand in this game because the Bucs aren't great against receivers. I forgot to mention this. They're allowing the 7th most yards to receivers. So could be a decent Drake London spot, but I never want to take a Falcons over. Here's what you do. You don't play it at all, or you take like an alt line over, because Drake London last week like went off. He had 12 targets, 9 catches, 125 yards. So maybe look for because this line's at like 45.5, I think.
Will this be the Van Jefferson game?
Oh, that's true. Freshly acquired.
Are they not showing you the line because Van Jefferson?
They're scared. The Bucs are scared.
Beep beep. Got candy in my Van Jefferson. I think it could be a Drake London game though, but like
or Matt Collins.
46.5 is a pretty low line.
Yeah.
And he's kind of been on the up. He's
been the guy.
Yeah, he's been getting him some
78 yards, 125 yards last 2 weeks. Ignore the 28 and 31 before that. But
so who are you going with for this game?
I'm gonna go Bucs. I have to do it.
Could be a trap.
I kind of faded it. I think. Look, if the Falcons won this game, I wouldn't be surprised. But you're getting under a field goal. Home favorite, first in the NFC South. But I do kind of think Bucs could come back down to earth a little bit. I think they've kind of been overachieving expectations, and Falcons, I guess who you are, have been underachieving. I faded the Falcons coming into this year. I didn't buy the hype with them, but still, it's a divisional game. So if the Falcons win, I'm not touching it realistically. But if I have to pick a side, I'm going Bucs minus 2.5.
Oh, I'm touching it.
I'm touching it.
2.5. All right.
All right. Moving on. Next up, we got the Los Angeles Chargers traveling to Kansas City to take on Taylor Swift and the Chiefs. Chiefs are 5.5-point favorites at home. Total set at 48. Chargers plus 205 on the money line. Chiefs minus 250. Chiefs have won the last 3 straight in this matchup, but have not been blowouts at all. 30-27, 27-24, 34-28 in overtime. Not betting it this time. But Chiefs are hitting their stride a little bit. They've won 5 in a row after the season opening loss to the Lions. But, the Chiefs are never fun to me because I fucking hate them. But they're just not that fun this year. It's kind of just – it's boring football. The defense has been playing well. I think they allow the second least points in the NFL. But it's just it's a different Kansas City that we're used to seeing. I was listening to another podcast. They were saying it's like watching the Warriors with Steph Curry's just meh. It's just not as fun.
Yeah.
but they're still getting it done. And Chargers coming off that, pretty heartbreaking loss on Monday Night Football. So I think this is going to be a fun game. I do. I think every AFC West game is usually kind of a shit show, but this is going to be a fun one. Going to my Chiefs point, they've only scored 12 fourth quarter points all year, all field goals, which is weird. They've only scored 24 points in 2 of 6 games. Just, where's the fun at? What are we doing?
Yeah, I feel like this Chiefs team, it's kind of like similar to the Eagles, like where I know I sound like a hater, but
you are, but it's okay.
But the Eagles were underwhelming in wins, and like the Chiefs have not really like.
They haven't had like a statement victory.
No, they haven't had a statement victory, or like they had what? They beat the Bears in front of Taylor Swift. I mean, they beat the Jags in a game that like I thought that was like going to be their moment to be like, all right, hey, we're new players in this shit, and they beat the Jets rigged.
Vikings.
It was rigged.
Broncos.
Vikings. That was a little too close for a defense like
very close.
The Vikings.
Yeah.
Like, and then the Broncos. Yeah, they covered, but like barely.
It was just a gross game.
Yeah.
I mean, Thursday night, whatever, but like the Broncos are the worst in the league at guarding everything, and you generate 19. You can't break 20 points against the Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, especially they put up 19 on a team that gave up 70.
70.
It's I know it's division, whatever, but like, come on.
Come
on. Yeah, Chargers, I like them. I like them in this spot. It's kind of like especially after like last week, like, they had that kind of pressure, like went against the Cowboys, like still a tough team, whether or not they lost to the 49ers or not. But I could just see this being a spot where like Herbert shows up against the Chiefs, it seems like. Like, I remember a couple years ago, I think maybe it was last year, he like had like his shoulder hurt, and basically like it was bad. I think like people were like, how the hell is he playing? He was just like slinging it down the field. Like He was just like, and it was just, I think we were in the group chat just like, oh my God, like how the hell is he doing this? Yeah. And so also, I've kind of talked about it a little bit. So Chiefs are allowing almost 2 yards before contact on the run. And I kind of talked about this in the Jets game because they had a low stuff rate. I think this could be Eckler's like running game. Like, his receiving line set at 33.5. He did break that last week. I don't think he broke rushing at all, really, right?
He had 14 attempts, but I think he only had like 30 yards. Let me look it up.
But 48.5, it seems like a high, like it's hard when you have these guys who can kind of do both. But I think that he gets that number this time. Like I think that this is the spot. Went against like just the way the Cowboys are against the run typically.
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah,
he went 14 for 27, which is 1.9 yard per carry, which is awful, obviously. But this is not the Cowboys he's going against. Chiefs aren't awful against the running back, 21st most yards to the running back. So whatever. They're allowing 75.7 yards per game to the running back. I also love Eckler in this one. At least I like him to score a touchdown for sure. Last week he was minus, depending on the book you're looking at, like minus 200. And it's like, okay, it's his first week back. He's going against the Cowboys. It's like, why is he? Sure, minus odds, fine. But like against the Cowboys, really? He's minus 130 this week, which is much more digestible. But Chiefs' red zone defense while their defense has been pretty good this year, and they haven't been allowing a lot of points, when a team does get in the red zone, they're the 5th worst team in the red zone. They allow a touchdown or 6th worst, sorry. Or wait, where am I at? 50% of the time they're allowing a touchdown. They're 18th, I'm sorry, but 50% of the time they're allowing a touchdown in the red zone. So
wow.
I think this is the game that he scores. And you're right about Herbert. Herbert averages against the Chiefs in his career 68% completion rate, 290 yards, 2.5 touchdowns, 0.7 picks, rating of 107.3. He plays his best ball against the Chiefs. So I think it's going to be a fun game. The Chiefs are good. I know as we're shitting on them, obviously they're a good team. Say what you will about them. Mahomes in 4 of the last 5 games, he's thrown for 270 yards. They're allowing the second lowest quarterback pressure at 26.9%. They blitz the most. Their defense blitzes the 5th most at 38.1%. But I think Herbert is. I couldn't find the exact set on this, but Herbert historically has been pretty good against the blitz too. So maybe that speaks to why he has played so well against the Chiefs. On the flip side, Chargers 21 sacks. The NFL is tied for 3rd, 18th in quarterback hits. Keenan Allen been an animal, especially with Mike Williams out now. In 4 of 5 games, he's got at least 75 yards. The one angle I kind of want to look at is what are Mahomes' rushing yards set at?
It is set at 26.5.
I kind of like that over. He is averaging 30.8 rushing yards per game. And last week, the Chargers allowed 40 yards and a touchdown to Dak. And this is the most Mahomes has rushed in his career. Like, I think the most he's averaged in a season is 22 yards per rushing yards per game. So he's already eclipsing that mark if it were to carry over through the whole year. So I kind of like that mark, and especially because the Chargers are generating pressure. Like I said, they're tied for 3rd in sacks in the league. So if they get after Mahomes a little bit, I could see him getting out of the pocket. And especially with let's just, when are the Chiefs going to accept that they have a receiver problem? I know trading, you won the Super Bowl, fine, great. Tyreek Hill, you traded him off. Like Travis Kelce, great, but he's getting older. He's showing that he's getting hurt, banged up. This is going to transition me to, I love Rashee Rice props in this one, but let's skip over that for a second. They have a receiver problem. Like, you can't have it's just wide receiver 3s all over the place. It's going to catch up to you eventually.
You know what wide receiver 3 is going to get it done? I actually think he could be a fun dark horse bet for a touchdown. McCole Hardman.
Is he going to play?
I don't know. But I like the bet.
It's fun.
If he doesn't, you get your money back.
That's true.
He didn't play.
That's true.
He was inactive. But if he's suited, I think I could see that.
Yeah.
You want to go back to what you were doing like last year? Yeah, sure. Why not?
Sure. Cool. Come back. You're like the only receiver I have any chemistry with. Let's do it.
Yeah, that would be the only receiver prop I would actually touch. There's no prop available right now. I'm on support right now with DraftKings, actually, trying to get it.
We need Cole Hardman props.
But yeah, I mean, that I was just having a conversation with someone. It's now a lot more of a narrative today, but like Quentin Johnson, but like what happened?
What is he doing,
what's going on?
Josh Palmer taking over there.
Yeah, I mean, which like Palmer definitely like had some.
He had a role.
Yeah, like watch Quentin Johnson just like break one off.
He's gonna go off. Actually, we should probably bet that just to be safe, just to hedge that a little bit.
Just to be safe.
Yeah.
Not even Josh Palmer, the most logical one. Let's just go.
Let's go Quentin Johnson.
But yeah, so I'm going, especially with the line at like 5.5.
Yeah,
it's kind of a spot where like Chargers don't have to win, but like
they kind of do. They're 2-3, 3rd in the AFC West. If the Raiders are
fire.
better than you, you got.
No, yeah, like it's like you could still make the playoffs being 2-4,
right?
But man, you
got to win this.
You got to be 3-4.
Yeah.
You'd much rather be 3-4. But yeah, or 3-3.
They're 2-3 right now, so they'd be 3-3.
Yeah,
they'd be 500.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be 3-4. Well, I guess if you went 2-4, then you want to be 3-4. But
they want to win the game.
Yeah, you play to win the game. All right.
I do want to say though, Chargers allowing the most quarterback passing yards in the NFL, 317, and this is why I love the Rashee Rice props. First most yards to receiver, 220 yards per game. This man's line set at 35.5. He's kind of established himself as, it seems to be trending in the direction of he's the target now for Mahomes. Not like Kelce is, obviously, but for receivers, they can't really find a guy. And Rashee Rice is like still not amazing, but he's showing like he's talented enough. He's leading the Chiefs wide receivers in targets with 28. Pretty consistent 5-2, 7-5, 5-4 targets. He's only gone over the number twice, but I think that was part of, he was a rookie first couple of weeks getting himself established. Last week he had 4 catches for 72 yards. So I think it's a pretty low line, and especially going against the worst defensive backfield in the NFL. I mean, it's a low line. Yeah. I like it.
No, that I'm I support you.
Thank you. And Mecole Hardman. We'll support him too.
Also, one thing I'll say is I also don't want to touch the total in this one. 48.
Yeah.
These Chargers like a team that, dude, they play some 24 to 21 games.
They scored 17 last week.
Yeah. I mean,
We just said the Chiefs haven't been scoring a lot this year.
and watch. Yeah, it's going to be this is like, I've seen this line before in a Chargers Chiefs game, and it's like, it always is a letdown.
Yep.
Like, it'll be this or 52.5, where it's like, oh, it's going to be
It's gonna
so
be
high
fun.
scoring. It's going to be a little bit like, maybe like 1 or 2 touchdowns.
This
each
is
team.
the highest
Like,
total on the week. Crazy.
That is actually insane.
That's wild.
Damn.
Give me Chargers plus 5.5.
Yes, Chargers plus 5.5. Could be a field goal game, maybe, but definitely like the Chargers to probably win.
Ooh.
I think they have to. So
Yeah.
might not be in the pick 5. But I'm not putting my life on it. But. All right. So next game,
I
right?
think it's you, right?
Yeah.
Miami.
Yes, sir. We got Sunday Night Football. We got a fun one. It's looking like a Madden matchup here. We got Miami Dolphins going against the Philadelphia Eagles. -2.5. The Eagles are -2.5 at home. 52 total on the game. This one has so much potential. I'm going to say Dolphins win 7-3. This just feels like every week where it's like, man, we finally get this primetime game, and then it's like,
This is going to be the one that's good.
20-17.
Yeah.
Chargers throw a pick and don't
Wow.
even get down the field to kick a field goal. Send it overtime.
Cowboys 49ers, game of the year, and blowout. Okay. Give us a real matchup here.
Right.
And
This
I also
game-
lied on the total. I said the Chargers Chiefs was the highest total on the week. It's definitely this one. 52 is definitely the highest total on the week.
Hey, it was the highest it was highest on the week at that point.
At that point. Until now. Sorry. Asterisk.
Yeah. Until now. It was just to hype it up.
Yeah. Here's our segue.
Yeah, this is going to be a really fun game.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of interesting props. I think it's going to be interesting to see how the Eagles react to McDaniel's offense, except they've been pretty solid against run, especially like runs that use the motion. Basically, when I look at how prepared a team might be for the Dolphins, it's just like, all right, how are they against motion?
Yeah.
And like, how do they react on the passing game or like the running game? Granted, no one's doing it like the Dolphins, but the defense has been pretty solid. And I really love DeAndre Swift on the other end in this game. 59.5 is the total. I think it's going to be really crucial for the Eagles to get the ball moving in this game. I mean, Swift, he had a lot of receiving yards. I think you talked about the receiving Swift's receiving total last week. But on between the tackles, he was had 10 attempts for 18 yards, and they're not going to win games. I mean,
Right.
like that. Like usually, granted, that Jets defense is really good, but this Dolphins defense is not nearly in the same echelon when it comes to stopping the run. I think 59.5 is a pretty realistic number.
Yeah.
I feel like he could get that maybe like 80 yards. I could see it being like one of those kind of games for him. Because I think, they as a team they ran for 80 yards last week, and 47 of those yards was from Hurts alone.
Right.
So you got to do something to take the pressure off him. Obviously, he threw 3 picks last week, so you got to do something to ease it a little bit.
He's in it a little bit.
How are you feeling?
So before I get into how I'm feeling, I want to comment on how historically insane the Dolphins are. So I found some stats courtesy of CBSSports.com. Found it. I'm going to source them because I'm plagiarizing everything here. So first of all, Tua leading the league in passing yards. It's obvious, 1876. So Tyreek leading the league in receiving yards at 814. This man is almost at 1,000 receiving yards before week 7, which is insane. So he has the second most receiving yards through a team's first 6 games in NFL history behind Don Hudson in 1942, who had 819. It's also more than 11 NFL teams have from all the wide receivers this season. He is on pace for 2,306 receiving yards. No one's ever had over a 2,000-yard receiving season. They have the second most yards through 6 games in NFL history, behind only the 2000 Rams, who are the greatest show on turf, which I've been listening to broadcasts, lazy broadcasting. They're just calling the Dolphins the greatest show on turf. I'm like, you can't even come up with like a funny pun. Like you're just copying the Rams. Whatever. They have 2,992 yards. Rams had 3,056. They are the first team since the 1964 Bills to lead the league in passing and rushing yards per game through week 6. The last team to do this for a full season was the 1941 Bears. You got to give your boy, what was it, Dave, the 1980s quarterback?
Dave Archer.
Dave Archer. Give him a call. Give him a history lesson here.
Gotta put you on.
Miami accounts for the 5 fastest players in the NFL, and 2 of the 3 are A-Chain, who's out. Also, did you know, what would you guess A-Chain's average yards per carry is?
Oh, I know it's insane. I'm gonna say 15 yards per carry.
It's 12.1.
Wow.
But it's the most in NFL history.
Wow.
And if you take away his 4 longest runs of the season, which were 76 yards, 67 yards, 55 yards, and 40 yards, he would still lead the league in yards per carry. Insane. They're just explosive as hell. But I agree. I say all this to digress. Eagles, great against the run. 31st in rushing yards, 50.3, or sorry, second best team against the rush. They were a little sloppy last week, though, just watching the game. And like, what I'm really concerned about is Lane Johnson, because when Lane Johnson went out last week, the game kind of seemed that's when it took a turn. His replacement, it was Jack Driscoll. He's kind of turnstile at running right tackle in that game. Like I said earlier, they lost the turnover battle last week 4-0. So I really do think this game is going to come down to the turnover battle. Can the Eagles contain the explosive Dolphins offense? We've seen it's possible. I mean, the Bills kind of put a shellacking on them in, I forget what week it was, but they won by 24 plus points, right, in that game. So if their defense can contain them, they're going to be kind of on par with the Bills in that game plan. And also, historically, too, they are changing the game, the way the game's played with just the tush push, which everyone wants banned. Here's why they want it banned. They are successful 81% of the time they do the tush push, 13 to 16 times. The rest of the NFL, look, everyone's like, you know, stones and glass houses, right? Oh, ban it. The league has done it 39 times and only converted 28, which is 72%. So the Eagles are better than you at it. So that's cry more. That's what we're saying.
Ban it.
Ban it.
Ban that shit. It didn't work. He can't throw. He's not a quarterback. He tried to throw it, and he threw it to the Jets.
You see what happens when you make them throw? And also, so dating back to 2017 through week 6, there were only 31 quarterback sneaks. Last year, with kind of the installing the tush push, we're up to 80. This year, we're up to 114 quarterback sneaks through week 6. Tush push changed the game. Good for football. I'm zagging. Tush push good for football. Not really. It's kind of stupid. But I like when I have Jalen Hurts props. That's when it's fun.
Actually, a little interesting thing about Tyreek Hill's stint through like 6 weeks. Mm-hmm. So other than like Calvin Johnson and Josh Gordon, it's one of the highest 6 week spans since last year. Justin Jefferson actually had the exact same amount of yardage,
really,
in a 6 week span. Not to start the season. But they both were at 814 through 6 weeks.
Wow.
Thought that was just a little interesting, like 11-11 type, make a wish kind of coincidence. Not really mean anything, but
right.
But yeah, I'm gonna make a wish, and I'm gonna say Tyreek Hill eats this week. I think that it's really hard to contain a guy like that. I'm not sure about the running game. Yeah, like no A-Chain, so it's gonna be like Jeff Wilson kind of coming off the IR.
This man will not give Raheem Mostert the credit he deserves.
Raheem Mostert's...
You tried to talk me out of him last week.
I did. Wait. Yeah, I did. Because I thought Jeff Wilson was coming.
You can't quit Jeff Wilson. Here we go. That's a guy. That's a guy that you stuck with through all these years. And I love that for you.
Okay, but... Okay. Jeff Wilson got traded to the Dolphins and immediately started out-touching Raheem Mostert. When he comes off the IR this week, who knows? I'm just saying.
Mostert's got that dog in him.
Mostert, of course, no, he's played great. I'm just saying. I have a little bit of backing. With it. Yeah, no, I don't know about Raheem Mostert in this game just because what's so funny is I had like this like FanDuel contest or whatever, and I put a thing on Raheem Mostert have the least yards because I was just banking on like a Jeff Wilson. I was like, I will be, because it was like a daily fantasy, like if you pick something no one else does.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna be such a fucking genius when this hits. And then of course like Jeff Wilson's like, I need another week. Like I'm not playing this week. And so Raheem Mostert's line set at 48.5.
Such a low line, but the Eagles are good against the run.
Good against the run. They also had like two other guys get reps, right? Like Salvin Ahmed,
yeah.
and then was it Chris Brooks or something like that?
Oh, I don't even know.
They had like one other back, I think, that also kind of did. I could just be thinking just fantasy football wise, but against the Panthers, it could also have been when backups.
Yeah, you're right. It was Chris Brooks. Chris Brooks was 6 for 28. Salvin Ahmed was 6 for 23. But Raheem Mostert was 17 for 115 and 2 touchdowns.
Yes, against the Panthers.
Hey, look at his stats all year, buddy.
That's true. But I did bank, or I did say like I thought Breece Hall was going to get the yards in this like last game, and he didn't really get the yards. So I don't know about yards.
And Jalen Carter might be coming back. He was out last week.
And we did talk about how the Eagles are just really good against the run.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a kind of a tough spot for Raheem Mostert.
It is.
You get to talk your shit for like, all the other weeks. And I'm sure next week you'll be able to talk your shit again when Jeff Wilson has no carries. But Tyreek Hill's receiving line is set at 96.5. You could kind of say this is a due for a regression spot, but I think I'm going to piss into the wind. I'm going to go with over 96.5 on this game. And longest reception for him is 28.5 is the line. I feel like,
I mean,
it's liable for
what's he been doing? Let's see. Tyreek Hill game log.
I feel like he's had like,
I think he's had like 4 catches a game over that.
yeah, like definitely.
Last week, I'll go from week 1 on. 47, 15, 54, 20, 69, 47. So 2 out of 6 weeks he did not, but still.
Yeah.
Explosive guy.
Yeah.
So
more like 4 out of 6 weeks he did.
he did. Excuse me.
Glass half full.
1 out of 6 weeks, he steals a cell phone and does a backflip while recording himself too. So where's that prop at?
What does he do? He's kind of like,
Little Chad Johnson in him?
Yeah, we got a little Chad Johnson like vibe now. It's fun. I'm glad we're having fun again. With like someone doing fun celebrate. You got him and then Waddle. You got like Stephen Ross, like, doing the Waddle and then like offering $100K to lose games. Like
It's fun. It's fun. Football's fun.
Yeah. I'll give you 100,000 if you lose this game, Brian.
Kick this wide left.
But yeah, I think I'm going to ride with the Eagles.
Wow.
I think they actually win this game.
I was so ready to fight you.
No, it's just, like this line is kind of like a little bit of an overreaction to Hurts passing. I think realistically, I think Tyreek Hill eats on receiving, but I definitely like Swift to run the ball. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Eagles -2.5.
I'm good too. Can't quit them. Love the Eagles for my Super Bowl team. I do. I mean, this is going to be a great game. I think it's a really fun game. On the flip side, I do like A.J. Brown. Props to you. He's been a dog lately that's just been hyper-targeted. And Devontae might be due for a pretty bounce-back game here. The Dolphins aren't great against receivers. 11th most yards, 170 yards per game. So let's hope for a fun one, right?
Yeah. So it should be a good game.
This is also probably the best 1 and 2 number wide receiver matchup with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is going to be one of those games where like You could take like Waddle to go off or Devontae Smith because
Just take all the alt lines.
Devontae Smith kind of needs a bounce back game.
He does.
He's kind of had some issues.
He's fallen off a little bit.
He needs to throw a little tantrum like AJ Brown did.
Yeah.
And that might work.
Worked for CeeDee Lamb last week.
You know, sometimes you gotta. Do you have the last game?
I think I do have last game.
Yes, you do.
Let me get to it. I am so sorry. All right. Monday Night Football. We got those San Francisco 49ers traveling to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. The Niners are 7-point favorites on the road. Total set at 44. On the money line, Niners minus 305, Vikings plus 245. I just love that Brock Purdy was everyone. I mean, especially Stoll. Shout out Stoll. But that's why he's not here, because Brock Purdy had the first loss of his career. Anthony Richardson's on IR. This man's in shambles right now. I'm sorry, Ryan, for your loss, but I understand why you're away. It's just funny, like, how everyone switched up so hard on Brock Purdy. Like, Brock Purdy's that guy, like, you're at a grocery store and, like, some 50-year-old, like, ladies talk, that Brock Purdy, man, he's just so nice. Now everyone's like, fuck that dude. He sucks at football. Like, he's the worst. He had one bad game.
You know, he was in one situation and he crumbled. He got him there.
God. And it's like every tweet I saw was just like different variations of memes of him just like freezing when the lights hit. Or, when you lose the best running back in the NFL and Deebo Samuel. And shut up. All right. He's fine. He's going to be fine.
Brock Purdy missed that kick. What a scrub.
Yeah.
Fucking loser.
He should be embarrassed. I don't know. I think it was just a bad week for the Niners. This is kind of shocking. They're leading the league in the NFL with 45 penalties, but last week did not do them any favors. They had 12 penalties for 105 yards. So kind of tough to win a game when you're playing from behind like that. Obviously, they got a little banged up too. McCaffrey did go out. Debo went out. I don't know the latest update on McCaffrey. He's questionable. I don't know if he's playing or not. It would probably be wise to rest him, but he also seems like the type of dude that's like, I hear no bail. I want to play. But if he doesn't play, do you think it's going to be Jordan Mason or Elijah Mitchell?
Absolutely Jordan Mason.
Do you? Okay.
I've been on Jordan Mason's hype train quietly.
Okay.
I told Ryan to pick him up in Dynasty, and he outbidded me last week for him because I was like, dude, Elijah Mitchell is like, he's held together with glue. He's literally Humpty Dumpty as a running back. Like, he's been hurt so much. I would much rather have Jordan Mason. And it seems like in those, like, you know, situations where they needed him, he got the reps. And in the last game, he had some good runs. I like Jordan Mason in this game.
Okay.
If CMC's not good to go, which it seems like he's not going to be. Like,
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't see a practice report
early
on
indications from, like, people were like, oh, that's the injury he has. Yeah, he's not going to be okay.
Right.
Like, they were saying like it was a little bit longer timeline than just like, next week.
Right.
So we'll see. But I mean, if that's the case, I really think that I would take I would take Jordan Mason props. Definitely for him to get a touchdown. One thing I thought was interesting is, so the Vikings kind of have had, like, if you had season tickets and you were just trying to like entertain out of town fans, like, they've had quite the games.
They did last year too.
And like, they've brought in like the Eagles, right? Yeah, they played like the Eagles on Thursday night, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, that was away.
That was away. It was in Philly.
So they played the Bucks, lost at home. Chargers at home, lost. Chiefs at home, lost. Now they're about to play the Niners at home, and they haven't won a game at home since December 24th against the Giants, who they then since lost a playoff game at home to. So I feel like there's a little bit of that. Okay. There's going to be fight. They've had fight in all those home games. They've all been very close. I mean, the Chiefs one came down to like that last possession. Yeah. Chargers, they lost by 4. And but I think that was kind of, didn't they kind of, was that wasn't a backdoor cover, right? No, the Chargers won, right? I don't know. But the Bucks,
was 28-24 Chargers.
Yeah.
I don't know how it came though. I don't know if it was it a last second play?
I don't know.
Oh, no. Kirk threw a Remember, they were like entering the red zone.
Oh, and
they
threw
had
that
the
pick.
time mismanagement. Then he
Right.
threw the pick. Yeah, they outcharged the Chargers. That was the
Right.
joke. Yeah, right.
And then they lost to the Bucs by 3. So all these home games have been one. Like, seems like I know that they have no Justin Jefferson and all that, but like, they haven't won a game at home this year. There's a lot of pressure. I'm not going to say they're going to win,
Ooh.
but +7 at home could be a good spot for them. Because, like, if you think about it, like, as a Cardinals fan, like, I don't watch my team win. The Cowboys win was, like, our first win in, like, it was, like, 12 games or something, like, at home. And so I think that +7 at home is kind of nice.
Okay.
For Kirk Cousins going to be fired up. TJ Hawkinson going against, that Niners defense, they should absolutely dominate this Vikings team in every way. But I'm just saying, I thought it was interesting that they, haven't won. You're starting to make a Christmas list now too. And so if you get to another Christmas and you don't have a home win since,
you trade Kirk Cousins to the Jets.
it'd be absolutely brutal.
It's funny how the turntables here. Last year they were 11-0 in one-score games. This year, every game has been decided by 8 points or less. This is just the Vikings. This is who they are. They play close games, and their aggression has came, and they are losing these games now, which people said would happen. I kind of agree with you. I think 7 it's kind of a lot, but I mean, just get ready to hear this 8,000 times this week. When's this game? Primetime Kirk. Just get ready to hear it. I'm just saying.
But remember, Thursday Night Football, everyone was talking about Primetime Kirk, and he was the only thing that shined in that game.
That's true.
I don't know.
Kirk's having a great year too. He's second in the league in passing yards, 1679 on the year. I don't know how to figure this team out. The Vikings are like the average. Like, according to everything, they're just an average team. The DVOA, they're 16th. Offense, 15th. Defense, 15th. Special teams, 23rd. And Niners are the opposite of average. I mean, before last week, embarrassment, even in spite of it, they're still the first overall team in DVOA, second in offense, 5th in defense, 20th in special teams. Not great. I know they're banged up, but I think they're going to have a bounce back week here. They're going to be playing motivated. I know it's two road games in a row, and you could see we could see the narrative like, oh, how does Brock Purdy respond after his first loss? Does he crumble? I mean, we're seeing this already, and he did have a really bad game last week. 125 yards, touchdown, interception, 55.3 quarterback rating. Versus the blitz, he was 4 of 10 with a 58-point rating. So it was not good. But I think the Niners correct themselves and get the win. Now the cover, 7 points is kind of a lot. If it goes like over like 7.5, I like that even more for the Vikings. Like, I see maybe the Niners just win by a touchdown and you get a push here. If I had to lean one way right now, though, I think it would be Vikings +7 at home. But I definitely think the Niners win this game. Couple things I would look at, though. Props aren't out yet, but love Brandon Ayuk in this spot. He's by far the team leader in targets, receptions, and yards. Vikings, they were awful last year against receiver. I think they were blending up the most receiving yards per game. This year they're 6th, so not as bad, but still not great. 194. His line's usually in the mid-50s, so I kind of like the spot for him, especially in prime time. And he needs that security blanket Brock needs that security blanket to get right in this spot. Also, Kirk thrives against the blitz. 7 touchdowns versus the blitz, which is first in the NFL. 118.4 quarterback rating. Niners don't really blitz that much, though. They're just a good defense. They could generate pressure with 4 rushers. They only blitz 24% of the time, 24. So I kind of think that's going to be the recipe to beating the Vikings here, is that they're going to try to generate pressure with 4, drop more in coverage, and just do their bullshit offense. If it's McCaffrey, if it's they're going to trade back for Jeff Wilson somehow, if it's Jordan Mason, I don't know. But I think Niners win, Vikings cover.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And kind of just to add a little, extra little slottiness to the Ayuk, Vikings have been horrible against slot wide receivers. So I definitely like Ayuk's number whenever it comes out. I think that it could be a really good spot.
Love it.
for him, especially with Debo out. That's probably we probably won't get a number till a little bit later,
Right.
But it might be high. But I think it should be a really good spot for Ayuk. Well, I guess I'll say, yeah, Niners win, Vikings cover.
Love it.
Also, and I'll say, what was the total again?
Give me 1 second. Sorry, 44, I think.
Sorry,
44.
Give me the over. I'm thinking.
Okay. I like that. Little fun primetime game.
Yeah, a little fun.
Okay.
Little extra fun.
Like that.
Yeah, it would be like, party's over after Sunday Night Football. I'm like, hey, how about we keep this party going? What are we doing? Like, so there's a little after party.
Are you saying we're going to get 2 appointing, not disappointing, just appointing games? Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football?
I don't know if I want to say it, because if I say it,
never mind. We didn't even think about it.
Yeah, we can't even think about having fun. NFL just ruins that shit. They're like, you're going to watch
You're
it
going to have fun? No fun league, bitch.
You're going to watch it anyways, you pig.
Fuck you, pay me.
Yeah. We're going to put this one on Amazon.
And you will watch.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like, yeah, we'll show you Taylor Swift every once in a while. Now watch Giants, Bills. Offense? No. No.
NFL's like, I think we're going to put this one on Crunchyroll this week. You will download it.
Tubi. We got this on. But yeah, I'm ready to get into a little bit of the pick 5.
Pick 5, baby. Let's do it.
How are we on time?
An hour and 25.
Oh.
Ooh, we'll rush through this.
Yeah, we'll just do the basketball. We'll just do that Zoom or something.
That's fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
we can do that soon.
All right. Should I read off Ryan's pick 5? And I think the fun part should be we should have to guess what his double unit will
I already
play
know what it is.
Did you already look?
No. Wait, did he send in the group chat?
Yeah, he sent
Oh,
it.
I did not. Okay, I don't know what it is then.
So
But I know what it is.
it could be any of these, but
Can I just tell you before I even know what the bets are?
what?
It's Colts money line.
No. All right.
Gardner Minshew touchdown.
There's actually not a single player prop.
Wow. Okay.
So start us off with Detroit Lions money line. Not too shocking.
Okay.
He kind of likes that. Could be his double unit lock there. Then Raiders -3,
oh, thank you.
Bucks -2.5, Dolphins money line, and then under 40 in the Browns Colts game. So maybe that's like kind of his like.
Maybe that's like the.
That's kind of that could be his double unit play, because he'd be like, I don't want to watch the Browns score, and like Anthony Richardson's not going to score,
Right.
Like
right, Right.
kind of like a screw you, dad, kind of.
Yeah.
Could be his.
That could be it.
Could be it.
He's rebelling.
What's your bets?
I'll go ahead. All right. First up, we talked about it earlier. Rashee Rice over 35.5 is simply too low. Leading the Chiefs wide receivers in targets with 28. Pretty consistent targets, 5 targets, 2, 7, 5, 5, 4. He's only gone over the number twice, but he's establishing himself in the offense. Mahomes seems to be gravitating towards him. Hoping Mecole Hardman does not play in this game, so he does hit this number. If Mecole plays, I'm a little more scared. But last week he had 4 catches for 72 yards. As we mentioned, Chargers giving up the most yards to the receiver, 220 yards per game. In that same game, we also talked about this one. Austin Eckler touchdown. Come back from injury. Last week still got 68% of snaps. You're playing the Cowboys, who are great against the run. So he still had 14 attempts, but like we said, only 27 yards. Last week, depending on the book, he was -200 to score a touchdown. And again, Dallas good against the run. So last year, he led the NFL in touchdowns with 18. Almost every game, he was minus odds to score pretty heavily. He's at -30 this week. Much, much more digestible. I love that one. Chargers, they score in the red zone. They score touchdowns in the red zone at the highest rate, 65. And Chiefs are pretty mid, 12th best, 50% of the time. Score a touchdown in the red zone against Chiefs. Love it. He's due. Next up, this man failed me before, but this is his makeup. Luke Musgrave over 31.5 receiving. Last time I did this, left a little concussion in the third quarter. Coming off a bye week, he's got his rest. He's third in the team on targets, 23, clear tight end leader in targets. The week after from the concussion, he came up 34 yards against Las Vegas, covered the line. He's gone over this line in 3 of 5 weeks, 3 of 4 if you take out that little concussion week. Broncos dog shit against tight ends, worst in the league. 75.67 yards per game. And to top that off, while the Broncos are awful everywhere on defense, they're actually decent against stopping receivers. They're middle of the pack, 17th fewest yards. So this is lining up perfectly for Musgrave here. Same game. Packers -1. What are we doing? They're only 1-point favorites. Packers aren't great, don't get me wrong, but they're playing the fucking Broncos. Packers coming off a bye. Broncos tied for the second worst team, second worst record in the league. They have the fourth worst point differential at -71. How is that fourth worst? Because the Patriots exist. That's how. Broncos are 30th in DVOA. On the flip side, Packers 16th in point differential and 21st in DVOA. Not great, but like just 1 point dogs. Broncos are clearly they're going to lose this game and then trade everyone. That's how it's going to go. So I really wanted to throw the Raiders -3 as my double unit lock, and it'll be my honorable bet here. But the double unit, it's a 2-team teaser. Bills -9, 49ers -7, 6.5 point teaser -130. Look, Patriots 28th in DVOA. They're awful. They're just bad. When I'm a Raiders fan and I say confidently Raiders are winning this game, I don't say that too confidently ever. They're dog shit. Patriots 20th in DVOA. Bills 3rd in DVOA. Vikings 16th in DVOA. 49ers 1st in DVOA. Both Bills and Niners came off kind of an embarrassing last week. I know the Bills won, but it was not in pretty fashion at all. So I think they're having a statement win against the Patriots. And like we said, Vikings might cover, but Niners win. This just gets you to Niners win here.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Thank you. You're up,
All right.
baby.
So I'm going to start us off with an easy one. I want to go 1-0. Desmond Ridder throwing an interception.
Layup.
All right. Look, it's too easy. I'm playing T-ball. All right. And now I'll go with DeAndre Swift over 59.5 rushing yards. I think he's in a good situation against the Dolphins. They're not really that good against the run. I think that they need Swift to kind of get them some yards on the ground more than people would have expected going into this year and stuff. But he's become a key part of that offense. I like fun. Over 37.5 in the Raiders-Bears game.
Hey.
I think that one should be a lot of fun to watch. I'm going to say this one quietly. Kenneth Walker over 76.5 rushing yards against the Cardinals. Cardinals are really shit against the run, And now, my double whale unit lock. Fuck Mark Andrews. Under 53.5 receiving yards. Honestly, I don't have any backing for this one. I don't have anything to say about this one. It's really a spite. I'm probably losing.
Probably. Lions are not good against tight ends.
But this is like, I'm going down like with the ship.
This is Titanic. Titanic band.
Band is playing.
Yeah.
Band is playing. And I couldn't sneak onto
I'm surprised it's not a TJ Hawkinson touchdown, Mark Andrews under parlay here.
They don't have that prop value. But I couldn't sneak onto the lifeboat. I'm going down with the ship. Under 53.5. This is the spot where he finally goes down. Ryan's not here, so I guess no homies parlay this week.
I guess not. This man was the only missing leg last week. Again, Anthony Richardson out for the year. Brock Purdy first loss, and he loses the homies parlay.
And you gave us 2.
I gave you 2.
You gave 2 legs.
I gave 2.
Yeah.
Excuses, Ryan.
It's not funny, Ryan. Please come home.
Come back.
Come home. Your girlfriend called me. She's looking for you. She's scared.
She's really worried about you.
Your mom called. We all love you. Please come home.
Is this a cry for help?
Thank you for listening to Drew and Derek Suck at Gambling. This was episode 61.
Sure.
Please follow, subscribe, review the podcast, whatever.
Or don't.
All right. Sorry that was so long.